Public sector unions, bar the teaching ones, have yet to reach agreement with government on salary increases. Government offering 3%, Public Servants Association asking for 6.5%, COSATU wants 10%. Tomorrow, the PSA is planning a stay-away. They're going to be marching in various centres. They've already embarked on lunchtime pickets. So what impact could a full-blown strike, what impact will tomorrow's stay-away have on government services? I'm joined now by Jones Galorale, Chief Negotiator at the Public Service and Administration Department. Mr. Galorale, thank you so much for your time. I did speak to the PSA earlier. They are encouraging all their workers who are non-essential workers to stay away from work tomorrow. And they say that's going to have a massive impact on non-essential government services. So your passport offices, your home affairs, your test driving centres, and they are suggesting that people should stay away as well from those places. What is your assessment of the impact of tomorrow's stay away likely to be?
Well, thank you very much, and good evening, Sally, and good evening to the viewers at home. Well, we as government, we do not want to underscore the planned strike by the PSA. However, we also do not want to press unnecessary panic buttons, because we have put the necessary measures in place to ensure that the services are not disrupted. For example, we have entered into the agreement with the PSA itself on the picketing rules. We have agreed with them in terms of the picketing rules that picketing will only take place during the lunch hour as well as the tea breaks. Otherwise, any action beyond those time will then constitute a strike, and therefore applicable pieces of legislation will be applied to them.
That's right. So what I understand is that tomorrow is a strike because they're saying stay away for the day, which means obviously no work, no pay. But in terms of people who need the services of government departments, what is your advice to them?
Well, we want to indicate that the PSA does not really constitute the largest majority in the public service. Majority of the public servants will be at work, rendering those services that are supposed to be rendering, and it's only those few that are spread across the public service. As you understand that they will be busing people from all over the provinces into Gauteng. So really there will not be much impact in terms of the service delivery. I mean, that's what we believe.
It's a difficult one, because when I spoke to John Tefo, he said, well, we're also inviting COSATU to come and join us if they would like to today, or tomorrow rather, and we believe it's going to have a big impact because you will have less people in those offices that are already understaffed, so it's going to be really difficult to get anything done. You're saying something different. What would you advise someone perhaps who's going to apply for a passport tomorrow to do? Would you say, you know what, rather go on Friday?
Yes, well, we believe that the services, let me start by indicating that I would not want to speak on behalf of the COSATU unions, but all I can indicate to the public is that the only trade union that has served the notice to participate in a strike action is the PSA. All other trade unions have not served the notice to participate in the strike. Therefore, their participation in the strike it will be unlawful, and therefore the actions that will be taken against them will be different from those that are participating in a lawful strike. So I want to indicate that it's only the PSA so far that has served the notice. So what they're trying to do is what we may call, clutching at the straws to try and amplify their own strike. But in terms of the trade unions, it's only themselves that is why we are certain that services will still be rendered at various points of government.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. We know that COSATU was due to hold a media briefing today. They've cancelled that. They are, as you say, they haven't applied to be part of tomorrow's strike action. PSA, yes, it's nearly 250,000 employees, so it is a smaller portion, but still significant. Talk to me about the status of the talks. PSA described them as collapsed. What is your assessment? Do you feel that inevitably there's a very strong chance of a full-blown strike, or are you hopeful that this issue actually can be resolved, bearing in mind that government is saying it's 3% and no more, we can't afford anymore?
Well, perhaps let me also contextualize the offer, because I hear you, even yourself, you keep on emphasizing.
I know there are extras. We always just keep it simple. I know that there are extras built into that, yes. So do tell us quickly.
Yes, not really extras, but the real offer is 7.5%, made of two main components. The first component is the non-pensionable cash allowance, which constitute about 4.5%. And then we have the pensionable portion, which is the 3% on the baseline. So that's the real offer of government to the employees. So we also want to clarify that issue.
Right. How close are matters to a strike? I mean, are you closer than you've ever been in the last 10 years since the last public sector strike?
Well, the fact that we are still able to, we're not very far from each other, the fact that we are still able to gather around the table and have a decent conversation. Hence, even at this stage, despite the standoff now, we are still calling on trade unions to come around the table, have a decent conversation, have a discussion, look at the bigger picture, because the mistake that we always commit is that we start negotiations after the budget would have been concluded. So our call to the trade unions, despite the current standoff, is that we still have an opportunity to influence the negotiations and the budget for 2023-24 before it's penciled down and concluded in February. So we're calling upon all trade unions to come around the table between now and mid-February, so to say, to come and engage in the next round of negotiations with a view of avoiding the repeat of what happened this year and negotiating after the effect.